Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Keeper of the Home podcast. If you're new here, I'm Cami, creator of the blog and YouTube channel, Tidbits and Company. I'm delighted to have you join me today. Now, we all know that homemaking skills and tips and tricks are often passed down from one generation to another. In fact, there have been many times in my own kitchen where I've had my kids kind of look at me as I'm working and they say, "Mom, why do you do it like that?" And I have to catch myself and think about it. And my only response is, well, that's because that's how my mom did it. And I really love that about homemaking. And I do hope that we continue to pass down this wonderful role and responsibility and the things that we learn and the way we do things. I think it's awesome. Now today I'm actually going to be sharing with you 50 homemaking hacks that I have learned from my new community of longtime homemakers. I'm so thrilled to be doing this, and let me tell you a little bit about where I'm getting this information. Now, for those of you who are joining me on YouTube or Spotify via the video podcast version, you're going to be able to see this, but when I moved into our new home, some amazing women and Relief Society sisters brought over this community cookbook that I'm giving you a glance of here. You'll also see that I'm filming in our bedroom because my kids have several friends over, and this was the only quiet spot that I could find for this podcast. Things are getting interesting here in this transition, and I hope you don't mind, but if you're on the audio version, no need to worry about missing any of this. But this community cookbook that they brought over just delighted me. First of all, because they brought it over with a bag full of yummy food, but second, because I was just so thrilled to see that they were carrying on this tradition. You see, we have now moved to the town where I grew up in, and we're here in the same town with my mom and my sister, and it's just so fun. But it's fun to be back, see some familiar faces. A lot of people are new, but to see that they were carrying on this tradition of making a church and community cookbook just delighted me. Because when I was a little girl, this was like the cookbook Bible. My mom relied on it heavily because that was the day before, there were billions of recipes at our fingertips on the internet. So you really relied on these recipes that have been passed down from one generation to another or refined by members of your community and cooks who just love to share these recipes. So to have them give me this new version and just to keep that tradition alive just delighted my heart. Well, anyway, I'd sat down to look at this cookbook, and the first thing I noticed was that there were several pages of these helpful hints. And I started reading through them, and I actually stopped myself because I couldn't help but think, I have to share these with you guys. I just have to. They are so helpful and just amazing things that you'd never think about to make your life easier as a homemaker. So I stopped myself and decided that I was actually going to read 50 of them to you, or read them together so that we can enjoy them and glean from this information. So thank you all you ladies in my church, in my Relief Society, and in my community that put this together. So I'm going to just read them to you, and I'll share some thoughts when I wrap it all up with you. But I think this is going to be fun. I hope that you just find some multitasking to do. This is a great podcast episode if you need to fold some laundry, do the dishes, get some cleaning done, go out in the garden, sip a nice cool drink, whatever you need to do, just prop this up and enjoy listening as I share with you these amazing homemaking hacks from the ladies in my community. All right, here we go. And they're short, so this isn't going to take too long, but helpful hint number 1. Never overcook foods that are to be frozen. Foods will finish cooking when reheated. Don't refreeze cooked, thawed foods. When freezing foods, label each container with its contents and the date it was put in the freezer. Always use frozen cooked foods within 1 to 2 months. To avoid teary eyes when cutting onions, cut them under cold running water or briefly place them in the freezer before cutting. Fresh lemon juice will remove onion scent from hands. To get the most juice out of fresh lemons, bring them to room temperature and roll them under your palm against the kitchen counter before cutting and squeezing. Add raw rice to the salt shaker to keep the salt free-flowing. Transfer jelly and salad dressings to small plastic squeeze bottles. No more messy, sticky jars. Ice cubes will help sharpen garbage disposal blades. Separate stuck-together glasses by filling the inside glass with cold water and setting both in hot water. Clean Corningware by filling it with water and dropping in 2 denture cleaning tablets. Let stand for 30 to 45 minutes. You guys, I don't even know what Corningware is. Let me know if you do. I'm a little oblivious to that. I might have to do a Google search. Okay, continuing on. Always spray your grill with nonstick cooking spray before grilling to avoid sticking. To make a simple polish for copper bottom cookware, mix equal parts of flour and salt with vinegar to create a paste. Purchase a new coffee grinder and mark it spices. It can be used to grind most spices. However, cinnamon bark, nutmeg, and other must be broken up a little first. Clean the grinder after each use. In a large shaker, combine 6 parts salt and 1 part pepper for quick and easy seasoning. Save your store-bought bread bags and ties. They make perfect storage bags for homemade bread. My mom always did that. Next time you need a quick ice pack, grab a bag of frozen peas or other vegetables out of the freezer. Add flavor to tea by dissolving old-fashioned lemon drops or hard mint candies in it. They melt quickly and keep the tea brisk. Make your own spiced tea or cider. Place orange peels, whole cloves, and cinnamon sticks in a 6-inch square piece of cheesecloth. Gather the corners and tie with a string. Steep in hot cider or tea for 10 minutes. Steep longer if you want a stronger flavor. Always chill juices or sodas before adding them to beverage recipes. Calorie-free club soda adds sparkle to iced fruit juices and reduces calories per portion. How clever. To cool your punch, float an ice ring made from the punch rather than using ice cubes. It appears more decorative, prevents diluting, and does not melt as quickly. Place fresh or dried mint in the bottom of a cup of hot chocolate for a cool and refreshing taste. When making fresh lemonade or orange juice, 1 lemon yields about 1/4 cup juice, and 1 orange yields about 1/3 cup juice. How many appetizers should you prepare? Allow 4 to 6 appetizers per guest if a meal quickly follows. If a late meal is planned, allow 6 to 8 appetizers per guest. If no meal follows, allow 8 to 10 pieces per guest. If serving appetizers buffet style, or if seating is limited, consider no-mess finger foods that don't require utensils to eat. Think outside the bowl. Choose brightly colored bowls to set off dips, or get creative with hollowed-out loaves of bread, bell peppers, heads of cabbage, or winter squash. Cheeses should be served at room temperature, approximately 70 degrees. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I don't know if I like room temperature cheese. Anyway, it's probably a good tip. To keep appetizers hot, make sure you have enough oven space and warming plates to maintain their temperature. To keep appetizers cold, set bowls on top of ice or rotate bowls out of dips from the fridge every hour or as needed. If the soup is not intended as the main course, count on 1 quart to serve 6. As the main dish, plan on 1 quart to serve 2. After cooking vegetables, pour any water and leftover vegetable pieces into a freezer container. When full, add tomato juice and seasoning to create a money-saving free soup. Interesting. What a good idea. Okay, trying to keep my commenting to a minimum. All right, instant potatoes help thicken soups and stews. A leaf of lettuce dropped in a pot of soup absorbs grease from the top. Remove the lettuce and then serve. You can also make soup the day before, chill it, and then scrape off the hardened fat that rises to the top. To cut down on odors when cooking cabbage or cauliflower, add a little vinegar to the water and don't overcook. 3 large stalks of celery chopped and added to about 2 cups of beans, you could use navy, brown, pinto, etc., makes the dish easier to digest. Fresh is best, but to reduce time in the kitchen, use canned or frozen broths or bouillon bases. Canned or frozen vegetables such as peas, green beans, and corn also work well. Ideally, cold soup should be served in chilled bowls. Perk up soggy lettuce by spritzing it with a mixture of lemon juice and cold water. You can easily remove eggshells from hard-boiled eggs if you quickly rinse the eggs in cold water after they are boiled. Add a drop of food coloring to help distinguish cooked eggs from raw ones. Your fruit salads will look better when you use an egg slicer to make perfect slices of strawberries, kiwis, or bananas. The ratio for a vinaigrette is typically 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. For salads, cook pasta al dente, which means slightly chewy to the bite. This allows the pasta to absorb some of the dressing and not become mushy. Fresh vegetables require little seasoning or cooking. If the vegetable is old, dress it up with sauces or seasoning. Chill the serving plates to keep the salad crisp. Fruit juices such as pineapple and orange can be used as salad dressing by adding a little olive oil, nutmeg, and honey. I do that a lot, actually. It does work pretty dang good. When preparing a casserole, make an additional batch to freeze for when you're short on time. Use within 2 months. To keep hot oil from splattering, sprinkle a little salt or flour in the pan before frying. To prevent pasta from boiling over, place a wooden spoon or fork across the top of the pot while the pasta is boiling. I'm going to read that again because it didn't sink in. To prevent pasta from boiling over, place a wooden spoon or fork across the top of the pot while the pasta is boiling. Okay, I have seen that hack on Instagram, so that's where that comes from. Boil all vegetables that grow above ground without a cover. Interesting. Never soak vegetables after slicing. They will lose much of their nutritional value. Well, that was 50, you guys. That went fast. I have several pages more of these helpful hints, but I told you today I was only going to cover 50. So as much as I want to keep reading, I'm going to stick to that. Will you please tell me if you enjoyed this and I can finish up on another podcast? Or maybe even do a fun video showing some of these helpful hints and hacks from longtime homemakers. I hope you enjoyed those. I actually think it would be really fun if you would leave in the comments below your own kitchen hack or homemaking hack. I know a lot of these were centered around the kitchen. So feel free to expand our knowledge and give us any kind of homemaking hacks that you may have down in the comments. I think that would be so fun for us to read and learn from each other here as this community of keepers of our homes. And I thought I should clarify one thing for you. As I was reading, I realized I mentioned the Relief Society. If you've never heard of this, let me just explain so you're not super confused or feel like you're missing out on something. But the Relief Society is, I believe, if they still hold the record, I believe it is the largest organization of women in the world. And it's an organization that has been, I guess, organized by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is the church I belong to. However, you do not have to be a member of our church to join the Relief Society. And I think it is one of the coolest organizations. And just growing up, they put out a lot of these cookbooks. And there were so many Relief Society activities that I went to that not only instilled the love of homemaking within me, but also educated me on a lot of things. So I almost guarantee you, if you're curious, if you want to show up to Relief Society meeting, you would be more than welcome. I will actually leave a link in the description where you can find one that's near you. You just find a meeting house or one of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints buildings. But online, you can find the number to probably the Relief Society president in that area. Call her and ask when they're holding meetings or activities. They're so amazing. Growing up, I learned how to plan out meals for an entire year. That was one of the most memorable things. But in these later years, I've gone to meetings such as how to take care of our mental health. There was one about how to safely guide our kids online and what kind of protections that we can put on our internet at home to make sure our kids don't run into things. There's just so many amazing live local classes that you can attend that the Relief Society is putting together, and it's all free. You won't have to pay a dime. The people in the Relief Society don't pay out for anything, and these activities are just so uplifting. So again, you do not have to be a member of my church to enjoy these. So I encourage you to go find them. I will help you find one near you if you want to check out the link in the description. Honestly, one of my favorite things about the Relief Society is they actually, if you want to, you can be assigned ministers, or you can yourself opt in to be a minister to someone else. So they give you the opportunity to watch out and look over and take care of another woman or sister in your community. And so they kind of give people partners and give you the name of someone that you can go in and just tell them you're their ministering sister and you'd love to take care of them, arrange for meals if they ever need it, just visit with them and share your testimony with them if that's part of it. But I just love this program because of that. It makes me feel like I'm part of a community that I'm not only being taken care of myself in times of need or just to make friends, but I can also have the opportunity to serve someone else and watch over them. So I love the ministering program. It's one of my favorite parts about Relief Society. And I know myself when when I had sickness or had babies, there were always meals arranged by the Relief Society to be brought in with me. And I also enjoy all the activities. They also meet every other Sunday for a lesson, but you can join them with that or not. I did not intend to get on a tangent here about the Relief Society, but I just realized while reading this book how grateful I am for that society of sisters that has given me so much. And I hope you enjoyed today learning some helpful hints and homemaking hacks with me as we read this book. So, loved chatting with you and reading this along with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you want the opportunity to share with the world your love for being the keeper of your home, definitely check out my shop where you can buy Keeper of the Home t-shirts or sweatshirts. And that's a really fun way to just encourage the next generation for this beautiful role that we get to have in tending to hearts and home. All right, my friend. That was fun. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back very soon to share more inspiration for the keeper of the home.